Alright, so here's something else that I've been meaning to get on video. So I just got my car back home, maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes from the car wash. Listen to this sound. And it's this upper coolant flange or hose. Always makes that weird noise. I'm not sure if you can hear it on the video, but basically it's bubbling. It's like real hot. And also from the other video, this whole area down, like straight down here by the underneath the distributor, it's kind of, I cleaned off some of it at the car wash, or I should say most of it, but there is still more leaking straight down in between there. And this is my intercooler pipe that was clean at the car wash, but there is definitely oil blowing in there. So I've got two problems with this motor. One of them is the oil leak that is really bad, and I can't really tell if it's just the distributor. Well, I know it's not the distributor because there's leaking on both sides and towards the front of the motor. But my heat shield has an oil spray on it. I don't think that's from today. And this kind of rigged up bracket was really just to put the oil catch can on to see how much oil was actually blowing out of the valve cover into this fitting, and then all the way up to the catch can. And as you can see, it's pretty black, and these hoses were clear. So like the bottom of, like the way this hose looks underneath, like pretty clear, that's how those hoses were. And this catch can has only been on for, I would say, maybe a month. But in that month, I don't drive this car every day. I usually end up driving the Nissan, because that one's got some smaller issues that need to be fixed, and I'm not worried about being stranded when I drive that car. But this one, that is my car, I drive it occasionally just to keep it moving. I don't want to let it sit for too long because I'm pretty sure things will get worse. But this oil, all I did was reroute the line that goes into the stock plumbing, or the stock intake, for the turbo. I just routed out to this catch can and then back down, just so I could try to catch more of the oil in there. Now I haven't taken that off yet, but since I just drove the car, oh no, never mind, it's not, I guess since it's far enough away, it didn't get too hot. So I'll take that off, since, you know, obviously just touching it doesn't really hurt, or I should say it didn't get too hot. But I'm definitely gonna have to take off those clamps and replace them with T-bolt clamps, and then try to figure out why this side is not really sealing. And it's hard to tell in the video that this whole thing is moving, but you can definitely see the oil that is blowing out of the pipe, and it's basically leaking down. Of course, I have no idea how long that's been like that. Like I said, when I got the car, it already had issues. Not to mention, I didn't really know anything about MR2s. I still don't really know that much about the 3S motor, but what I do know is the oil leaks on this motor are just my experience with this motor, not with just all 3S's. My experience with this motor is it already had a leak. I'm just now getting around to the point where I'm noticing them, I'm seeing them, and I'm trying to stop them before I pull the motor. The real reason for me pulling the motor wasn't just because this one was hurt. That was just kind of like the icing on top. So this one is getting pulled, but like I said on the other video, I am going to try and fix as many leaks as I can aside from rebuilding the motor. Now if you look down, so this cylinder is firing, this cylinder is firing, and this cylinder is firing. This one is not firing at all. When I did a compression check, These two and this one were both around 120, 125 psi. This third one, or this one right here in the middle, was only at 90 psi, and with the gauge still hooked up, the pressure was still falling, and it wouldn't get up past 90 psi. So yeah, little by little, but I'm not going to rebuild the motor at all. I'm just going to pull it. I may take it to a machine shop and see if it's, you know, feasible to just replace the pistons, put the engine back together, and then sell it like that, already fixed and running. One of the things I wanted to talk about also was that intercooler. The side core is not factory. It's pretty thick, but what you probably can't see in there is it has a puller fan that's always on, which I don't mind, but it also only has a bunch of heavy-duty zip ties holding it in, or at least it's holding, the fan is being held in by the zip ties. I can't see what's holding the intercooler in, but I definitely have to get over there. Once this thing cools off, I'll give it a couple hours. If not, I may not even be working on it until tomorrow, because it's around 1 o'clock. We're supposed to be going to a birthday party, kid's birthday party. So I probably won't have a chance to get back to work on it before it gets dark. And my garage is full, as you can see. The spot on the left is for parking. Never mind. So yeah, back to this one. So I ordered the gasket, or the O-ring, for the distributor that goes on the shaft on the outside. So once this cools off, probably tomorrow, my objective is to get the distributor out, get the O-ring replaced, clean up some of the oil, and put the distributor back in, and hopefully stop some of the oil leak. Now the other issue I have is there's a lot of oil that is getting into the intercooler piping. The other issue with that also is a leak. As you can see, the clamps are not holding, and who knows how long they've been loose. So that's on the agenda, to get this fixed also. Fix oil leak, or at least, you know, some of it on this side, and then probably clean out my intercooler pipes and try to stop this oil leak that seems to, I'm not sure if it's the turbo or not, which I hope not, because I bought it brand new right after I got the car, because the old turbo was blown. It was in pretty bad shape. So I bought this turbo on this engine right after I bought the car, once I realized what was broken on it. So if you look down in there, this turbo is only, it's a rebuild. I got it from eBay, so who knows how good or bad it really is. And the burnt down pipe is on there, and that is the same age. I bought them together. I'm really hoping that the turbo isn't blowing oil, but even these T's over here for the boost pressure adjustment, like down here, this T has a lot of oil that's just pushed in there, and this other line, coolant line, has some oil that dripped on it from that T. So yeah, it looks like I'll be pulling most of this stuff, including the intake for the turbo. I'll be pulling most of that stuff apart, trying to figure out, you know, really how bad this is gonna be. Just short-term stuff. Yeah, that is it for now. Till next time.